Hey, it's Gary and Scott from the Sea of Galilee in Israel, of course, and we've just gotten off the boat ride. We're now at Capernaum. And Gary, why don't you tell us a little bit about the sea? How big is it?
Yeah, it's about 17 miles long, 9 miles wide at the longest part. It's almost 700 feet below sea level, and the hills around us actually are at least 1,000 feet above this, if not more.
So it's really a low place.
Yeah.
It's in the Rift Valley that runs
It's
down
in there, that valley area.
from Mount Hermon all the way down to the Dead Sea. And how was your trip on the waters this morning?
It was really smooth today as we came up to Capernaum. Now, of course, Capernaum is to the north here. That's where we're standing now. If you were to go to the west side of the lake, it would be Tiberias. To the east side of the lake, we could talk about the Gerasenes, a miracle that Jesus did with the man in the tombs. Way in the south is the Jordan River Valley.
So it was really calm this morning. It wasn't like when Jesus and the disciples were out there when the seas went crazy because of this special wind from the Mediterranean that could come down and swoop through the passes and then hit the sea.
Yeah.
What happened when that took place?
If you could see it, which is kind of hard to see, but I can see it from here. There's something called the Cliffs of Arba. And the wind tends to funnel through the Mediterranean through there, and it really pours through there and can really chop up this water. We have at least two incidences in the New Testament, in the Gospels, where the disciples and Jesus are, well, actually the first time, Jesus is actually in the boat sleeping.
That's right.
Can you figure that out, Scott?
That they're all worried because the sea waters are entering into the boat and overwhelming them, and they think they're going to die, and Jesus is in the back sleeping.
Can you imagine? He's sleeping, so they wake him up. Mm-hmm. Don't you care about it? Isn't that a crazy statement to make? Don't you care about us?
And of course he cares about it. What did Jesus say then?
He just told the wind to calm down and be quiet, and they did.
Proving he is God, master over nature and the universe.
Yeah.
What was the second?
Yeah, let's talk about Peter a little bit. Peter lived in Capernaum. We have evidence of his house, probably his house here. And the second incident was Jesus was not in the boat, but the disciples were in there. Peter was in there, and
Jesus was up on a mountain praying.
Jesus was praying up in a mountain, and all of a sudden they see this ghost walking
Phantasm.
on the water. And it's like, who is this? What is? And they were scared to death.
And I can't imagine who it was. It was Jesus coming to them.
It was indeed. And what did Peter all of a sudden decide he thought he could do?
I got a great idea. I'm going to go out and meet the Lord on the water. And so he gets out of the boat and he starts to walk, and of course what happens?
Well, wait a minute. Let me show you how it's done. No, I think I'll skip that. All right.
So he gets out and he starts to walk to the Lord, and what happens?
Well, he begins to, instead of looking at the Lord, he looks at the water and starts to sink.
And he cries out, "Lord, save me!" And what does the Lord do?
And I think we've got some good pictures of that. Well, paintings anyway, of Jesus reaching down, pulling Peter out, and then bam, they're in the boat.
So this is the place it all took. This is the all took place right here. And we were out there just a little bit ago, and it was beautiful, it was quiet. You could listen to your own thoughts and think deeply about how much the Lord loves you, and he has saved you. Maybe not from drowning in the lake, maybe not from a wild storm, but he saved you from sin, death, and the grave, because he paid for your sins, past, present, and future. And one day we're going to be with him.
Absolutely.
It's an amazing promise, isn't it?
So we're going to sign off here from the Sea of Galilee here in northern Israel.
Scott, Gary, we'll see you soon. God bless.